Hi, this is Kamal Gurung, your trusted real estate advisor, and this is part 3 of what your real estate agent isn't telling you. So let's talk about something that's become quite popular recently when it comes to real estate. And I'm talking about the team concept. Okay, you've seen it all around. Kamal Gurung real estate team, Agent Smith real estate team. Now, to be fair, the team concept is not anything new. It's been around in the US for a long time. Obviously, it's come up to Canada now and it's become quite popular. You see it all over the place now. Okay, so the question really is, for your real estate buying and selling needs, is it better to go with a team or is it better to go with an individual agent? The honest answer here is it really depends on you. There's no right or wrong here. It depends on how you choose to work and what you're comfortable with. You can go with a team or you can go with an individual agent. How the business is run is where it's different, not how, whether you're getting an experienced realtor, whether you go independent agent or if you go with a team. That doesn't change. Okay, so it really depends on you. Now, you know how an individual agent works, so we're not going to touch that. Let's talk about the team concept and what it is, and so you get an understanding of how it's set up, how it works. If you think about it, a CEO of the company, when the business is small, works in the business on a day-to-day basis. As the business grows, the CEO hires managers, hires workers to work on a day-to-day basis. The CEO now starts to focus on branding the business, growing the business, long-term focus, all right? That's kind of the same with the team concept. Agent Smith started out in real estate, it's going well. Now he decides that he wants to really grow the business. So he starts putting money into advertising, branding Agent Smith, team Agent Smith. And as business grows, he will hire real estate agents to work under him as team Agent Smith realtors, right? So as calls come in, the realtors are the ones that will actually do the day-to-day activity, the buying, the selling, and all that. Agent Smith will focus on the branding, the advertising, and focus there. So that's how a team essentially works, right? Just like a small business, as it grows, Agent Smith is the CEO of the company. He gets more and more removed from the day-to-day activity of the team as he focuses on the branding. Okay, now some of the common negatives I've heard from people who've dealt with teams, one of the most common is that they feel like they've been handed down to somebody lesser. And what I mean by this is, imagine you're a potential seller, you see all the advertisements from Agent Smith all over the place. You decide to call Agent Smith, you set up an appointment. Day of the appointment, somebody else comes in and says, I'm John on Team Agent Smith, right? It's not Agent Smith himself, who you thought you were hiring or potentially looking to hire, because John is walking in representing Agent Smith. Now, that's the typical experience because Agent Smith typically will not work the day-to-day operations. Now, again, here's where it's different. If it's a smaller team, Agent Smith might still come in, do the listing presentation, definitely do the first meeting, set up a relationship, and if they get the listing, then hand it off to John, who will do the day-to-day activity, communicate with you, open houses and all that. Then Agent Smith will go back to branding and all that, right? If it's a big team, you'll never see Agent Smith. John will come in, do everything from day one and take care of it. So the complaint I get, oftentimes I've heard, is that they feel like they've been handed off to somebody else. Oftentimes the impression is it's somebody lesser, just because they don't know who John is. Doesn't mean he's not experienced, just they get a sense of being handed down. Okay? The other complaint I've heard is that they feel that they've been pressured to get to a decision quick. Now, this may not necessarily be fair, but that's the comment I get. In some ways, it might be true because, as Agent Smith is spending a lot of money advertising, growing the brand, there is a sales cycle for every marketing dollar they're spending. There is a certain amount of time when the leads come in, it needs to be generated into clients, it needs to be generated into transactions because Agent Smith is spending a lot of money advertising to generate those activity, right? Now, again, an individual agent could be doing the same thing. So it's not necessarily a knock against a team. The scale of it might be different, but an individual agent might also be doing the same thing. So you may also feel highly pressurized when you're dealing with an individual agent. One of the negatives when you're dealing with an individual agent also is, as an individual agent, there's only so much you can take on your plate at any time. We have the same 24 hours you do. So there's only so much we can take to be effective. So that's a negative. In a team concept, there's always somebody else they can hand it off to, right? If John's busy, maybe Mary can take over for this client. So just so you understand, there's no right or wrong. It's just how the operation of the business is handled is different when it comes to team concepts.